I'm up kind of early. It's about 5 a.m. And I just wanted to say that it's kind of interesting that, like, the equation E equals mc squared. There's a lot of things I think that are wrong with that, which, or at least potential flaws. Like, I don't know if these are true or not, but they're things to think about. For example, if a photon is a piece of matter and is the basis of all matter, um, and is basically the smallest unit of matter that we know about. Isn't since energy is mass and velocity, and as I said before, an important point is that mass and velocity, in my opinion, cannot be exchanged. I think there's a mistaken belief that you can exchange mass and velocity, and I really doubt that. But it's interesting, since gravity, since a photon's velocity would potentially not be constant, as I think is shown by the Rebka pound experiment, potentially it can be interpreted that the speed of a photon might not be constant all the time, and might be, certainly we see that it's affected by gravity, and it could very well, a photon could very well be affected by gravity because it's a piece of mass, it's a piece of matter. If that's true, then c squared would be a variable quantity, but then also, how do you explain gravity, which would influence its velocity, the velocity of a photon, and the distance between two photons? Well, how does that work in E equals mc squared, since the energy of a photon, the so-called energy, which is a human-made concept in my opinion, but it still could be of use, might depend on, the theory of the equation of gravitation, the distance and the mass of the photon and so on. How can it be that just the mass alone and the speed is the energy, when really gravity is what determines its velocity and so on? So that's sort of an interesting question about E equals mc squared. But also, what was my other point there? That hold on, I have to think and remember what it was.